Hey gang, Chonky here. I just wanted to take a moment to apologize for no uploads the last couple weeks. Life's been pretty crazy with work. I've been pulling a lot of extra hours and just have not really been home nearly as much as I normally am. So my apologies there. And I also wanted to apologize at how short this week's episode is going to be. As it is the first episode of the Zerg campaign for Brood War, it is incredibly short. It took me less than 5 minutes to beat it, and so there wasn't a whole lot to write about for the script. Well, you know what's going on, but that does start to change after we get a couple missions into the campaign. So I'm hoping that the next week will fill out a little bit more time, and then hopefully we'll be back to the 15 to 20 minute marker that I was hitting with the Terran episodes. Anyway, thank you for your time. Enjoy Brood War Zerg Episode 1, Stories of Starcraft. Vile Disruption. We once again take on the role of a Zerg cerebrit, nestled in the ravaged Terran world, Tarsonis. An agent of the first Overmind, and after our father's defeat, an agent of Dagoth's renegade swarm. But something has happened to the second Overmind on the ashen world of Char. Our senses are a blur. Our connection to the swarm feels faint, like voices drowned out beneath the thrashing of torrential waters. We cannot issue commands to our Zerg underlings, and this disconnect gives rise to a gnawing panic. We have no mouth, and yet we must scream. In an instant, the blurring of our thoughts are cast away, and we hear a voice.
Greetings, Cerebrit. By now you've realized that I've severed your connection with the Overmind and your renegade brethren. Understand, it's nothing personal. I just can't risk you falling under their influence. You're mine now. Serve me unquestioningly, and I'll let you live.
Our glorious queen has quelled the panic in our mind, and she speaks to us reassuringly. She needs us, and we will serve her unquestioningly. Hers is the will of the swarm. She was the mightiest of our father's creations, and his will and designs were infallible.
My queen, pardon me for interrupting.
We are soon interrupted by an infested Terran, whose constitution is much more Terran than one would think. He announces visitors for our queen.
But the visitors you have been expecting have arrived.
Finally. They certainly took their time.
Yeah, well, none of us were in any real hurry to get here, Sarah.
Strange that an uninfested Terran and a protoss would be guests in our queen's presence. Why does she simply not infest them, or feed them to the hungering swarm? No matter. Her designs lie outside the scope of our thoughts. We are simply a tool, her instrument with which she will conduct a symphony of death and evolution.
Still suspicious of my motives, Jimmy?
Always.
When I contacted you both on Ire, I told you about the new Overmind and about the UED that seeks to control it. Well, the UED has done it. They've tamed the Overmind and now control most of the Zerg broods in this sector. That's why I've asked for your help.
She explains that the second Overmind has fallen under the control of the UED. This would definitely explain the erratic sensation we were suffering not a moment ago. With the UED controlling the majority of the swarm, they could take over a large portion of the Caprulu sector. No wonder our queen is seeking new allies to combat this menace.
You want us to help you defeat the UED so that you alone will rule the Zerg.
Wrong, Phoenix. I want to defeat them because if we don't, they'll clamp down on this sector and enslave us all. You know I'm right, Jim. You've studied the history of Earth. You know what the UED's agenda is. Taking control of the Zerg is only the beginning for them.
Maybe. I don't know.
The Protoss warrior, Phoenix, still flaunts distrust in our queen, and she insists she's doing it for the greater good. Our petty squabbles can wait until after the UED are destroyed. Duran interrupts once again, and requests the Queen's intervention.
My queen, again I beg your pardon for this interruption, but we have a very serious problem.
She humbly dismisses the alien guests and requests that Duran continue.
Perfect timing. Gentlemen, we'll need to finish this conversation later. Continue, Duran.
The Psi Disruptor signal has reached us here on Tarsonis and shattered the unity of your broods. Within the past few hours, your minions have turned on each other and left their hive clusters to run out of control.
Apparently, we were not the only Zerg that felt the impact of the Psi Disruptor. And now all of our Queen's broods are running amok.
This is just what I need. Cerebrate, take the few Zergs still under my control and do what you can to stem any further damage to the hive clusters. I can't afford to have them destroyed by my own minions.
Our first mission, in service of the Queen of Blades, show our guile and rescue all her nearby hives from destruction. We are given a small squad of hunter-killers to secure the first hive, and no sooner do we issue our first command does the first hive come under assault. Upon rescuing the first hive, we find a few Zerglings. We quickly take them over, but we find that we cannot use the hive's facilities to our benefit.
Queen, the hive structures are not responding to the Cerebrate's commands. There is no way to reinforce your warriors.
Cerebrate, you'll have to make do with the warriors you have. Slaughter the dissident Zerg in my name.
Duran relays this news to our queen, and she requests that we use the resources we have at our disposal to slaughter the renegade Zerg. We will worry about the hives after the enemies are wiped out. Across the battlefield, we see another hive come under enemy fire. Thankfully, the Zerg are infighting, and this gives us the time to get our warriors in position to take control of the situation. This second hive grants a few hydralisks that were buried in waiting, and we assimilate them into our standing forces. We make our way to the third hive, and do not find much resistance in our journey to it.
Our forces are under attack.
We find several Scourge that belong to this hive and send them out for some recon. They run into several Guardians that begin attacking the base around the next hive, and they are blown out of the sky by our explosive little monsters.
The hive cluster is under attack.
The fourth hive doesn't come under fire until after we arrive in its perimeter. It is immediately flanked by a sizable force of Zerg, just as more of our reinforcements emerge from beneath the ground.
Our forces are under attack.
We decide to split our forces in order to quell this attack, and also rescue the next hive as it is incredibly close by.
The hive cluster is under attack. The hive cluster is under attack.
The fifth hive grants us a boon of Zerg Queens, and we quickly find a use for them. As an enemy Ultralisk barrels down towards our Hydras, it is ripped apart from the inside, as a queen spawned a pair of broodlings from it. We consolidate our forces and move towards the next hive, taking care to pop some of the Ultralisks with our queens to preserve our fighting strength. Our next hive is under attack with a swarm of Mutalisks, but they fall quickly under the hail of spikes from our Hydras and Hunter-Killers. This hive grants us several Nidus canals and a couple of defilers for our troubles. We quickly use the fleshy tunnels to travel to the largest hive in the area. As our warriors rush to rescue the hive, our defilers splash some of the enemy units with the plague to help whittle them down.
Our forces are under attack. Our forces are under attack. The hive cluster is under attack.
With even more Zerg unburrowed in our presence, we easily clean up the remaining renegade forces and ensure these hives are ready for our battles to come.